congratulations on a really well organised Sailplane Grand Prix. It's all going very smoothly.
Thank you very much. We are a small team, but we really like the Grand Prix, and I think our airfield is really well for such a kind of race.
I think so, but I'm not sure the weather was at the start. There was no flying at all in the practice days, and I was beginning to think that Brittany weather is just miserable and cold.
No, this is not usual, but we can see how good are the pilots to fly in such a tricky situation.
True, so let's look back over the first 6 races. Let's think about what the critical moments were. There are quite a few in this, I think.
Day 1, remind me, what happened on day 1?
A very short and late task, 100 kilometers.
Ah yes, you decided to open the start line at 5:10 and the last finisher was after 7. Apart from that, there was nothing remarkable about that race. Day 2 was a more classic task of 155 kilometres and the weather was a little bit better.
Real struggle back, conditions marginal, pilots need to fly without water ballast, but few of them, such as Christophe Abadi, can complete the task.
But critically, Louis Boudelic and Moustique, that's Christophe Rouge of course, were able to get rid of their water early and be able to get to a very low weight so they could climb in the weakest conditions.
Yes, but Moustique finished 20 seconds before Louis, but he got penalties, heavy penalties for the start, and so it became, it's not the way Moustique flies. Usually he makes no mistake.
I think he said he came to the Sailplane Grand Prix a little tired, so it is uncharacteristic of him. Day 3, again, it was a minimum task distance day, and you almost cancelled before launching.
Yeah, the cloud base was really low, 800 meters at launching, very weak condition, and we were sure that it would be very difficult on the first leg.
But there was one key point in the whole flight, and that was halfway along the third leg, only about 30 kilometres from the finish. And Louis Boudelic broke left, followed by Jean-Denis and Moustique, with a really good line of clouds that weren't in quite the right direction, but they curved towards the next turn point, and it let them get past the gaggle, who were going on the direct route. It was a really good line of energy, and they overtook to win.
And Louis consolidated his overall lead.
But at the same time as Louis made that decision, Freddie was to the north, and he found good air there, and he was also able to overtake the gaggle and get his first points. Day 4, Frédéric Oyot flew alone from the second turn point. It's a really unusual tactic for Sailplane Grand Prix, but it worked today.
But he almost lost it when Freddy Barthélemy slowly caught up with him and got ahead near the fourth turning point. Frédéric made the key decision to stop and climb maybe 10k from the third point. He climbed at 2 meters per second to 900 meters.
Frédéric turned Bande de Bretagne almost a minute after Freddie, but with an 80-metre advantage that gave him just enough to overtake Freddie within sight of the finish line to win.
Perhaps on one more turn and the last turn would have lost the day.
Yes, but if Freddie had turned at Bande de Bretagne more precisely, more accurately, he would have saved a few seconds and might just have won.
And the two Christophs finish wingtip to wingtip.
That was exciting. Day 5 was a trip to the seaside.
Mostly wind let us fly to Golfe de Morbihan, and we can see Cumulus over the sea.
And it was a nice day for Alain Mazellara to win, because he'd been last the previous day.
But the most critical thing on day 5 was Jean-Denis Barrois got heavy penalty.
Oh yes, he finished first, but he got 3 minutes of penalties at the start.
Yeah, and he effectively lost 5 points against the leader. To win a Sailplane Grand Prix, don't get penalties.
Day 6, everything came down to just one thermal. Alain Mazellara found it near the first turn point, but he was low and 4 others came in overhead, centred in the first decent thermal of the day and managed to break away.
Louis Boudelic and Christophe Abadi benefited the most. At one point, nearly 20k ahead of the rest and flying very close to each other.
And Louis is the master of final glides.
But he had dropped so many waters, he was so light that Christophe Abadi was able to overtake him.
And Louis could do nothing about it. It's incredibly competitive and so close after 6 days. There are 6 pilots within 9 points of each other. At times we've had 5 pilots squashed on the podium with tied points.
Yeah, a single bad decision can lose the race and a single good decision can win the race. as we can see with these few critical points.
This SGP race format, it's so exciting and dynamic and unpredictable. This is FAI Sailplane Grand Prix.